Good evening, humans, or morning, afternoon, who knows. Sun's out, the water is nice and clear. It's after top tide for a change, and we've come down. We did this last year. You're all going wobbly now, you must be drunk again. And we fished the sea pool right here as the tide went out, and I can hear fish swirling. So what we have got is a pretty fly rod, strange looking wiggly worm. Somewhere up here we've got a little spectra shrimp type thing, and we're going to give it a go, and we will start right here. For anyone fishing estuaries and muddy, crappy, horrible places where there's broken glass and mud, sand, mixtures of everything you've got to deal with, the old dive boots I can't stand up. Excellent for that sort of thing. And there's the fly on the point, just a sort of wiggly, not as wiggly as we expected. I don't know. I got a feeling it might get more wiggly as it gets wetter. Still some mayweed about by the look of it. Now the actual pool is down a little ways from where we are now, but we'll fish here just to warm up. Quite a current, so there's no need to retrieve too much, just give it a pull down again, as they say. My fly casting is not brilliant, so this sort of place where you don't need to cast far is ideal for me. Let's throw it across the current. Mend the line upstream a bit, that will slow things down a bit. Give it a little pull down again. And straight across. You can see the pool starting to deepen up now. Is anybody here? And if they are here, where exactly here is here? I guess we're right in the head of the pool at the moment where it's shallowest. Is you all working? You seem to be all working. Are you enjoying the sun? I'm enjoying the sun. So we will just work our way slowly down to the deeper parts of the pool. You can just about see the drop off out there. We're just getting our fly just about over it. You can literally see the shape of the pool in the current here, because where the water is all popply, we just hit the edge of the drop off there. That's the actual gut of the pool there. And then either side of it, where it shallows up, the water is dead calm. Look. It's purely because the current is being dragged out through it. Nothing special. Now we're in the area where I would expect to find some fish. Doesn't mean they are here, man. It just means they might be here. So in a sea pool like this in South Wales in June, you could find flatfish, of course, eels, of course, mullet, definitely, bass, almost certainly, sea trout, good chance, and possibly even salmon. And of course, there are those trout that prefer to live in the estuary rather than the river. People call them slobs. Still just trout. But then sea trouts are just trout as well, so let's not get all snobby. I would say that was definitely a fish because we've gone through that area a couple of times now and nothing else has happened, so I don't think it's weed because we're in the deep bit now. So let's be optimistic, isn't it? And pretend it was a fish. The drop off now is right in front of me. Now we can afford to let that fly sink a bit. Just drift round perhaps. Slow down. There's got to be fish here. It looks very fishy. Whether there's fish here or not, it's very nice. Yeah, I gotta stop that. That casting is crap. I think I better check that leader because it didn't look good at all. Yes. My dropper fly is unhappy. Oh, there was a fish. Right on the far bank, about 50 yards down from where we are. So, somebody's at home. We're getting into the gloopy mud now. So we're going to go down nearly all the way to the swans. Because the tide is falling pretty fast. Now, as you can see, we're right on the drop off here. Now the shrimp on the point floats. So we do not need to do much in the way of retrieving now. Just let him come round. because real miniature tiny shrimps, half an inch long, don't move that fast. So just plonk him out there. I would say right in front of me there's at least 7 feet of water. Which is more than enough to hold any size of fish you can imagine. Put the line upstream like that, it slows things down a bit. To the non-fly fishing people, that's an upstream mend. If you just throw straight across, the current puts a big belly in the line, drags the flies across in an arc really fast, which can be useful if you're lure fishing. If you want to present a lure slowly or present small flies at a reasonable speed, just put that upstream mend so it's crossed like that, lifted up and across, and it'll allow them to drift down a bit quieter, slower. Now if I was a fish, I'd be lurking on the edge somewhere, keeping an eye in all of this weed for anything that's still on the move. And you don't even need a line tray for this, because you can just drop the line straight onto all these weeds. If you're fishing a surf, you want a line tray to keep the line under control in the waves, because they will tangle you all up. I can start to see the bottom across everywhere now. And the one on the blah 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 blah. Where's your English? The fly on the point is a foam-back shrimp, brim pink. Normally I would use a brown one, and when you're fishing the surf and the mullet are on the algae, the brown one seems to be the most successful. It floats in the surface, and I've got a feeling they're not taking it as a shrimp. They might be just taking it as a blob of algae, because you've seen the algae in my other videos or when you've been to the beach. It looks like an oil slick. People quite often think it's oil, and it's not. It's just brown or green algae, and the mullet love it. They just hoover it off the surface, and my brown shrimp fly then looks just like a blob of algae. Also handy when you're fishing very shallow water, because being a floater, as it were, you can use it to keep your other flies up in the surface layers. It's sort of what Stuart would call a washing line when he's trout fishing, maybe. Something similar. So maybe, just maybe, a booby on a size 12 with brown or green marabou could make an even better algae fly. If I can even remember that, if I can even attempt to remember that long enough to get home, I'm going to tie a couple and see. However, with my memory, not something you can bank on. It's not looking good for the presence of fish, is it? I've seen a couple of swirls and heard a couple of swirls, which could well be bass feeding on shrimps right in the weeds, sucking them off the top. Could also be mullet, so they're usually not that noisy. And we've had one possible take. And it probably was a fish, because, you know, the things just go heavy. It's probably a fish sucking at the fly. But it doesn't matter, because it's peaceful, it's sunny, it's warm, it's comfy. And the possibility of a fish exists at any moment. Let us move down a bit. We'll just follow these flies down. Not too much chance of hooking a fish with everything all in a wiggle like that, but the never knows. We'll go to this pile of weed here and see what happens. Now, if you were on the incoming tide, I would not feel confident if I didn't see loads of fish swirling close to the surface, but when you're on the outgoing tide like this, most of the fish have already gone, and you're really looking for those last chance bass who are either going to stay in this pool, and I don't think they will, because the river's really low, or fairly low at the moment, or they are lastminute.com fish who will literally stay to the death in the hopes of a free meal. Because what's the worst that could happen to them? They'd actually swim down the actual river and over the weir and into the sea. Well, I did switch it off, but I'll switch it back on now because I just remembered I got another battery. So we'll just use both. We are now out of the deep part of the pool mine. So maybe less confidence, I don't know, still a couple of feet of water. Okay then, humans, you're back. And as you can see, we've moved down to that there bridge. We've got all this ground here, like if you were here on a flooding tide. Perfect. But all we're going to do, we're going to go down to the bridge and have a look and see if there's anything at all about. And so far, I've seen nothing. You would think there's a good depth of water still on this, there would be some life. Crabs and bits and bobs digging in. Also noticing the mud doesn't have holes. This mud should be full of mudworm, and therefore there'll be little telltale holes everywhere. I'm seeing nothing. So we're not going to do anything too drastic, we're just going to go down another 50 yards. See now that. See all the little holes in the mud there? Those are mudworm holes, but the mud all around is barren. So why are there just a few here and there? There's more over here. Used to be all these patches of mud would be full of them. Oh, my boots are filling up with water now. That'll be squelchy on the way back. I see zero signs of life there. Nothing at all. So I think we're going to have to give this best because you've already seen it. Blah blah blah. Looks lovely. Very warm, very pretty. Maybe Nils will do better tonight as it's getting dark. I will be elsewhere. There's another little fish gone past then. So I'm going to call it for now. Go for a cup of tea, maybe some food, and we shall see you for the next one. Ta-ta for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for letting me disturb your beer and your barbecues and everything else you're doing in the sun. And enjoy the heat wave. Although by the time you see this, it'll probably be raining again. So there we are. Chin chin.